Hi guys, welcome to this week's Snowcast. We're here. You might say, Jesus, the audio fidelity has gone down this week, lads. It actually hasn't.
It's gone up.
It's gone up. This is what we want. Sitting on the street, O'Connell Street, Waterford, outside Tully's pub, drinking a fresh, tasty, delectable pint.
Sure, we'll just have the one.
Sure, we'll just have the one. That's what you said to me.
Basically leaving work, the sun is absolutely splitting it today.
Spalpa.
And I was like, there's something going on. There's something.
You couldn't figure it out.
I couldn't figure it out. What's going on? Next minute, sure didn't I cop the lip?
You were fair shook.
It was quivering like a bastard.
I thought you were having a seizure.
A lip-based seizure. Oh God. Oh, lads, the draft pints. Oh Jesus.
There's no comparison, is there? Cans are lovely and bottles are lovely, but God,
You can't beat it.
And it's like Tom and the Cove said to us a few weeks ago. He was dead right. It's the best time ever now to be drinking a pint of draft because everything is fresh.
Yeah, that's so true, actually, isn't it?
Very good observation.
So all the brewers haven't been brewing. Oh lads, we're sitting outside the front of Tully's there, so there'll be cars passing, there'll be people chatting.
We might do the podcast equivalent to people watching.
Exactly, yeah. Look at this fella coming across the road here now.
What chap?
He looks like Peter Griffin.
You got me those. So we're.
Peter.
So actually, Owen.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
For the first time in real life, with a pint glass in front of your hand, what are you drinking today, kid?
What am I drinking today? I am on Elevation Pale Ale by Wicklow Wolf, which we would have featured. I don't think we've ever featured it.
It surely has.
In draft form.
No, not in draft ever.
It definitely has in can form, but Peter Griffin is just leaving there now.
On a motorbike.
But yeah, oh God, there's such a difference in the flavour now, like compared to the can, and it's so fresh, and it's obviously, it's that thing as well where the taps and stuff here are all like at the correct temperature for pouring this pint, whereas we have our fridges set at like 3-4 degrees, whatever it is, and it's very hard to kind of like anticipate what's coming, and it's it's just not that perfect temperature, whereas this is absolutely lovely, like absolute bliss. And what are you drinking today, you Gumby?
I'm on the pint of Yellowbelly Citra, because I was just saying, obviously it's one of them staple cans you'd have in the fridge throughout lockdown.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a direct comparison.
Yeah.
And there is no comparison,
Yeah.
And it's lovely out of a can. That's not to put a can of Citra down. It's just there's just no comparison whatsoever.
Different gravy.
So yeah, different gravy altogether. It's a different bag of lemons. It's so much fresher, so much easier on the palate. And I've drank. I can't stop coming back to it, which is a bit of a problem, but a good problem. A good problem to have. But what I think is great here as well, Owen, is we're sitting in Tully's bars. People will know well from the podcast, featured regularly on it. We harp on about it all the time, and we even had Ed Cahill from Tully's on the podcast there last year in the mini-series we did, the last call. But what's interesting is people hear the cars and the bikes going past in the background. So this area is now cordoned off on the weekends, pedestrianised.
I think so. Is it from 5 o'clock on a Friday, or
5 or half 5 on a Friday?
Yeah.
Kind of to maximise the post-work points.
Yeah.
Of a Friday, and then for the entire weekend, then Saturday and Sunday as well.
Yeah, it's complete, basically out of commission until Sunday midnight or whatever.
Yeah. And it has no impact on traffic because it's not a heavy traffic place anyway.
And it can be diverted. You can divert the traffic around it. And I definitely think, I was up in Cork last week or the week before, and all of those side streets that are off of Oliver Plunkett Street and Patrick Street
and the South Mall,
and South Mall, all of those kind of linking streets between them have all been kind of closed to traffic, and there's no need for them. And Princess Street in Cork, have like have a load of like tables, and they have big huge parasol umbrellas,
Canapes
in the middle of the street all the way up, and they're all like really colourful, different colours, but like it's something that the city council invested in themselves and put those out, rather than having like, you know, even here now we have like a small canopy above us that like obviously fits the whole front of the shop, but like they obviously can't put a canopy on the charity shop beside us, or like on the solicitors or whatever there's on the other side of us. So then they're missing out on that kind of seating availability outside there, you know. Whereas, you know, if it was kind of a city council led thing, it'd be great. And it is great here that from Friday to Sunday that like the whole thing is blocked off. Like, yeah,
because we're here over Thursday now, and there's a couple of chairs outside, which is lovely. It's grand to sit down on the street.
That's the thing, isn't it? Though the spontaneity, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Like this is really spontaneous now, right?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
But we literally arrived as someone left the two kind of walk-in tables that are here. I think the rest of the tables are kind of booked for the afternoon. A few people have come and gone since we've arrived here now, and have been turned away because the back is full of bookings.
Only for that we were fucked. Come here, did you see the nonsense last week about the outdoor dining and outdoor drinking?
Oh, with the guards? Yeah.
That was pure stupidity. I mean, like, you know, I think as well the whole thing about discretion, like, that's the kind of thing you see, like these quirks about the law and stuff like that all the time. You see if it affected something really important to be done, sorted overnight, like they should just do a little amendment to some bill, like to
exactly,
just allow it, you know.
It'd be like that time where, remember, all of like those drugs just became legal for a day, and well, the draft legislation, wasn't it, overnight or something?
The draft legislation would be the right thing to call it.
Yeah.
To allow a few draft points on the street. But yeah, I think it makes sense. I actually think this is a street that could be pedestrianised anyway.
Yeah.
You know, there's no need. Like, even we were saying walking down, we walked past T&H Doolin's there in Jacob Lynch's, and like those pubs those streets are kind of pseudo pedestrianised in a sense. Like, deliveries can drive up, and you could drive up in your car, but there'd be no reason to.
Yeah.
But I think there's plenty of scope for more pedestrianisation. Like, especially now with, say, the last year and a half the pubs and restaurants have had, like, if you could put a load of seats outdoors, have a few heaters, have cover if needed for the weather. People are only too mad to get out and about and have a drink in a pub, like.
I think like the street front should be celebrated, because what has happened previously is that in Dublin there was a van of Frylight.
The Frylight lorry is passing there. The restaurants are back open.
But what has happened previously was that, like, in Dublin, and it was all around the country, but it was definitely highlighted in Dublin, whereby you had to apply for planning permission for a sandwich board and pay X amount of money with a sandwich board advertising for business outside the premises. Whereas now, like, I think you should be, like, that should be celebrated, and that we should all be sitting outside where possible, and, like, you know, like, those chairs should be left outside, and that yes, you do need space for, say, 2 passing wheelchairs to go by, and that should be your kind of, like, you know, minimum standard, like. But, like, apart from that, like, it, you know, it should be that, like, places have stuff outside their premises as well. Like, a lot, like, as we said before, look at, like, piazzas in Rome and, like, all of Italy and Barcelona and stuff like that, where they, like, horse chairs out, like, you know, and completely utilise that public space, and, like, all restaurants take it over, and it's so lovely to sit outside or whatever. Whereas, like, here, it's just, like, you have these big, huge, like, squares, or, like, say, like, O'Connell Street in Dublin, like, sure, there's nothing going on. There's, like, lanes and lanes of, like, traffic and buses, and, like, no crack at all on the biggest street in Ireland, like.
The only thing about that as well, I'd say, is, like, you know, people always throw back, oh, with Rome you have the weather, and you have, you know, they have the weather for it, and they have the same in other countries, but, like, there's more precipitation in Portugal than there is in Ireland every year.
Yeah.
Do you know, and you go to Lisbon as well, it's all on street dining.
Yeah.
Even like if you go to Lisbon September, October, like it rains a lot, but they just quickly pull over the
Yeah, they have like those kind of like
retractable kind of temporary roofs, like.
Yeah, or they have like gazebos.
Not like a fine gazebo.
None better, yeah. But what has your experience so far been, kind of the outdoor dining or outdoor?
I haven't ate much.
Outdoor pinting.
Pretty good. Yeah, we were here a couple of weeks ago. We were here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was like this is like the post 5:30 and all the chairs out on the street, and yeah, it was packed. It was great to see people were having a good time. Everyone was distanced. You're outdoors, so the ventilation is fine. So like the risk from a virus perspective isn't almost negated. Like it's absolutely ideal. And we were there, like we luckily got a table outside Tom Maher's actually that evening, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And then the week before that, we were out the back of Tully's here.
Yeah.
We had a grand little table ourselves and Tommy Kyrie.
Yeah.
And we had a drink outside. And again, like that, very, very pleasant experience. I haven't had a bad one yet. And even people might have heard us on the Irish History podcast a couple of weeks ago. When we went up to Kilkenny to record Finn Dwyer, and then subsequently, we'll just say the circumstances weren't right for us to record this podcast afterwards. But what I have to say is, like, the facilities, like, that's the one thing I would say. Like, we were in O'Sullivan's tap room after that, and they've clearly invested a lot of money into the facilities, like.
Yeah.
And I'd like outdoor facilities as well, like top notch. So I'd be ashamed to see them not be able to avail of using those facilities, and for the public not to be able to avail of them. I've had nothing but good experiences so far, like outdoor, well ventilated, well spaced, really good positive experiences.
The only thing I would say about the O'Sullivan's tap room is that we were so lucky to get into it.
Yeah.
So, like, again, it harks back to that. Like, so we had kind of messaged beforehand, been like, should we book anywhere for Saturday? And Finn, in fairness to him, had been out previously in Kilkenny. He was like, no, sure. Like,
town is grand. Like,
town is grand. I just strolled in wherever. But by Jesus, we went around to it.
Finn was wrong. I wouldn't trust him anymore.
No.
Not in booking tables in pubs or history.
But like it took us about 5 or 6 pubs to find, like, and we got a cancellation in O'Sullivan's tap room, like, you know. So again, a lastminute.com joke. Like, we had to kind of queue outside for a bit and kind of see what the crack was.
You were sweet talking the maitre d'.
Hey, settle down. Shush.
Kieran doesn't listen to this. And that was a great day, a really good experience. And I have to say, like, this is my first experience since the pubs have opened, the outdoor dining and drinking has opened back up here, where I've actually been properly trolleyed as well. And it was a very pleasant experience.
Yeah. In fairness, Sullivan's they have a good old range of beers, like, on offer. Like, I was drinking the red ale and
I was
the blonde.
on the,
were you on the blonde?
I was on the gold ale.
The golden
which
ale.
is a savage drink. I love a good gold ale though. And then we went on the Weihen Stefano.
Oh yeah,
the lager from Munich.
Yeah. And that was absolutely savage. That was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's one that
because we've had bottles of it, have we?
Yeah, our King stores sell it, and they push a lot of it. It's a great beer, like.
Yeah.
Julie's a big fan of it. She's always singing its praises. So we've had bottles. Might be one to throw through the old Pilsner Proud at some stage, you know.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I was just
Probably with today's lads.
Listen to that, lads. That's fucking magic.
Because a long time since young lads and young ones were gowling in the background of the podcast.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is what we live for.
Yeah, and then also semi-negative experience as well was probably Grady's Yard last week.
Oh yeah.
Whereby overall, brilliant night, great fun, great food, great beers, everything. But the 6 at a table rule was
tricky
when there was 7 of us.
Yeah. as Run DMC would say, it's tricky.
Yeah, no, because basically 7 of us arrived. The 2 people had already been there and had a table of 6, and we couldn't pull up the other chair now. But then, like,
rules is rules. But then, it was hard for them to manage too. Then there were people waiting outside, and we were like, oh.
Yeah,
how
no,
do you know,
I definitely don't. I don't.
a lot of sympathy with them.
I don't blame them for it. I'm just saying that the rules are there for a reason, but it's awkward and it's kind of shite, and that you have to kind of take it into consideration when you're doing it, like, you know.
Yeah, don't be going out with 70 lads. It won't work.
Cut the Aegis.
Yeah, cut the. I shouldn't have been let out.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the experience so far. So, no, it's been good. Like, it's good to have a pint of draft again. Jesus, like, cans are great, but there's only so many of them you can take.
Yeah, and the socialising aspect of it as well. Like, there's none.
Yeah, and I think, like, even us, like, trying to manage it, get on the Zoom to do the podcast. No, it didn't help. I had Wi-Fi for 2 months, but as well, like, the Zoom fatigue is serious at the moment as well. I think, isn't it? Like. So we need a couple of these, like, spontaneous pub trips to just
settle us,
iron out that Zoom fatigue as well.
We'll probably a big apologies out to our listeners for the lack of podcasts,
especially the patrons. Poor bastards.
Because we've been IT struck down both on computer fronts and on broadband fronts. That we just haven't been able to contact each other. So
we tried to record on Kilkenny alright that night, but we were literally sat under a speaker and we couldn't move. And, like, while we love a bit of background noise, we don't want us to be the miniature background noise. Yeah. It wouldn't have been a pleasant audio experience.
You would have just been listening to Kesha all night.
What's the opposite of ASMR? It would have been like long wave radio in the 1990s.
Or MSA.
A new form of MRSA. First COVID, now it is. But yeah, actually, do you know what I love as well, guys? Send us in your pictures and your experiences of outdoor dining in different parts of the country, or if you're in the UK or the States or Belgium or New Zealand or any of these far distant places that we might never see again. Just let us know how you're getting on with the outdoor dining, with drinking and COVID and stuff like that. I've actually had pretty much overwhelmingly positive experiences, really.
Yep.
And I think as well, we were saying this off mic as well about, like, how great it is to see the facilities being upgraded all over the place. And, like, it's tough on businesses trying to make ends meet, so these grants and stuff that they're getting is great, allowing them to upgrade facilities. Like, I've heard brilliant things about pubs like the Vic in Tremor, the Woodman in Waterford City has apparently done a fantastic job altogether. But also as well, like, spare a thought for the pubs and restaurants who aren't in a position to open yet, you know. So, like Phil Grimes, I was talking to Tom during the week, and he's just holding off until the indoor pints are back, because it just, do you know what? The truth is, it suits that pub environment an awful lot better, you know.
Yeah, that is an indoor pub. And
so, actually, Joe, before we wind up, because we were intending this to be quite a short podcast, lads, for your ears, as we said, we'll have just the one. What did you make of the whole, like, you know, push back the indoor dining and pints a couple of weeks?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I suppose you're like, you know, they should have kind of given more time to the publicans to kind of decide on this. But then also, like, the data is only kind of coming at certain time. You know, it's kind of like, I think it was kind of like, especially that kind of Scottish data and stuff like that was coming out. I think it lent to that time. I don't think you could have made a decision much earlier on. You know, it's tough. I don't know.
I don't envy him, but at the same time too, I would say, like Jesus, it's 4 or 5 weeks now since the UK were saying that 21st of June for them wasn't realistically a viable option. They seem to be 4 or 5 weeks ahead of us. So I think they could have just done everyone a favour a couple of weeks earlier.
Yeah, they could have.
And like, from, like, you know, I have a brother-in-law who runs a gastro pub in Galway, talking to him, talking to pub owners, restaurants owners, and asking them their opinions and stuff. It seems to them like, you know, it's the proximity to, like, it's the less than a week's notice is the killer.
Yeah.
They've staff taken on, those staff are coming off, you know, pandemic payments. It's just a real upheaval for everyone. It's not nice. And then stock is ordered, especially for gastropubs. Like, you know, if it is only 2 or 3 weeks, like with pubs, if they've ordered kegs in, they'll be fine. But for gastropubs who might have ordered fresh fish or, you know, fresh vegetables and stuff like this, that's a fucking kick in the teeth, like, you know.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I think it's, you know, whether it's the right decision or not, you could probably look at 2 different graphs and come to 2 different conclusions. It's the ways of getting to the decision, I think, is the problem. Like, you know, you could either see the UK data cases rising and say, right, we have to push this back 2 weeks ago. You could see them and say, we'll hold on and judge their hospitalisation rates, which seem to be fairly stable, and say, right, we'll go ahead. But this kind of last minute malarkey is no good for anyone.
No, it definitely isn't. So, spare thought for the boys.
Don't pour one out from though, because so long since we've had one now, we won't be pouring any of it. Only down our gullet. Come here, what? So I suppose let's do a quick pint watch before we finish up. So we're having a pint here now on the street, sitting at a table, which is fucking lovely, and I highly recommend it. And if you are around Waterford, come to Tully's and sit outside and people watch. It's lovely, actually. But right, pint watch. Pint watch is, you know, high stool around a bunch of old lads having a crack. So at the moment they're saying July 19th. Yeah. Do you think it'll go ahead in July 19th?
Yeah, I think hospitalisations won't. This is awful to try and like be betting on this, like, you know, but I do have faith in the vaccines, and I think we'll be okay.
You think science will win?
I think science will win. Yeah.
So I was seeing figures there today saying about how many vaccines are actually in the country ready to go, just need to be distributed and put in arms. And if they can manage to get another 1 million doses out in the next 3 weeks, I reckon.
And they're kind of in and around like that, aren't they?
300k a week or something like that.
Yeah, they're on about that, like, yeah.
So are we 1st of July now? We're talking about 19, so we've 18 days. I'm gonna say the 26th of July. They'll ask for another week just to vaccinate another week of people. Okay. And that's my prediction then.
Right.
26th of July.
And I'm 19th.
26th, that's a Monday, isn't it?
Monday. July, please, I'm on my knees.
Monday, Farrell, is it?
Love your freshly poured pint.
We're about to get kicked out of. How'd you get kicked out of outside the front door or somewhere? I went Monday. So lads, actually I wasn't bad with the old predictions last summer.
No.
So if you're a betting man or woman, book the 27th of July off work.
Come down to us. We'll see you.
We'll sort you out.
We'll see you
at Phillies, the high stool.
Brilliant. Right. So lads, send in your pictures of ye drinking, sculling and snaking pints as out in the sun, and send them on to us. We're at Snugcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
That's all.
That's it. We don't have the TikTok
yet. We haven't the TikTok yet, no.
And
none of this newfangled shite.
Or if you want to send us a longer message, you can send us an email to thesnugcast@gmail.com. We have planned loads, lads, for the future, but like again, our IT just fell to the wall and everything else fell to the wall. So we're hoping we've breweries lined up. We have people in the UK and stuff lined up. We have pub owners lined up.
We have a Zoomer lined up for next Friday that hopefully will work out. And Pilsner Prowl will be back next Friday as well.
And we have a big surprise as well coming up soon. Hopefully.
I forgot about that.
Hopefully we'll do it in the next 1 or 2 podcasts, but no promises.
Yeah. Go on.
Anyway,
wait yourselves.
Good luck.
Sláinte.